Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Smack Attack, the place where Disco Santa is the face. Ladies and gentlemen, it's good to see you. Yes, I am solo today. I am Sokoa today. We're running a Sokoa Smack Attack because James is unavailable, and that's okay. James has some family commitments as well as work commitments, and it's Christmas time working retail, so that makes life difficult. So we're here today to talk Smack Attack. We're here to find out, you know, the trimmers have begun for Royal Rumble. Things have been slowly put into motion. We've also are here to talk about the World Cup, and not that World Cup, not the good World Cup, but the Smackdown World Cup, to determine who is going to face Walter for the Intercontinental Championship. So, Disco Santa has here for you, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy, John Enright, the man with the plan, the Disco Santa for your Yenta. I don't know. Rhyming is not my thing. But it's good to see you. Glad that you're here. So far, things have been going well. If you eventually tune in, you're going to see I have a Merry Christmas shirt on, a Disco Santa hat. It's very shiny and sequiny, and glasses, which I'm going to take those off now for my regular blue blocker glasses. But just got off doing a fundraiser event where people could take pictures with Cowboy Santa. No, I was not Cowboy Santa. I did not ride in on a horse in a Santa suit and a cowboy hat. So I was just there to help usher people along, take money and stuff, because it's a small fundraiser for our organization, Freedom House. For those of you who know, I work for a nonprofit here in Weatherford, Texas. And so this was a fun event. They have what's called Christmas on the Square. So Lab Rat, what's up? First comment of the day. Elizabeth, what's happening? So, morning. I hope you guys are good here. Disco Santa has made it. And now that we have two people, it's good to be here. We just got finished doing, me and my son Jacob. Jacob is here in the building somewhere. He's probably eating snacks and drinking and going back to sleep. But we just got done doing a fundraiser. The fundraiser is going to go till 4 here in Weatherford. Javi, what's up? Greetings. Yes, there he is. Watch, come say hi. See, look. Hi. There he is. So yes, we just got done doing Christmas on the Square is the big Weatherford event. And then there is a business called Peacock's Feed that has a Cowboy Santa, and kids can come take a picture with Cowboy Santa. And so they are doing that, and it's a fundraiser for our organization. So we literally just left there, came here so that you guys could have the Smack Attack. So we're talking about that today. So with that said, I hope everybody's doing well. From your comments, you all look great. So that's good to know. Thank you. It's a nice hat. I like it. I pull it out just occasionally for Christmas time. It's my Disco Santa hat. So I like to be Disco Santa with the kids here when we do Christmas with them. So I guess we need to talk Smack Attack. We're going to talk a little bit of news first. We're going to talk about the world of wrestling and what's happening. In case you don't know, New Japan has been doing their World Tag League / Junior Tag League tournament going on right now. Lance Archer and Minoru Suzuki are teaming together. They won this back in 2011, and they're teaming together again. And so that is a fun time to be had, to watch my friend Lance take pictures of him barely fitting into a Japanese room where he's in bed and his feet are touching the wall. So the life of a 6'8" man. Or he goes into a Taco Bell and his head almost gets chopped off because he's running into the doorway. So he's literally big in Japan. Aaron, good to see you. How you doing? Hope everything is well. Christmas is the December 25th, Aaron. But I'm doing it today because I was just at a Christmas fundraiser where people could take a picture with Cowboy Santa. So I have not even bothered to change. This is the event shirt, and so I literally came from there for you guys. As I said earlier, it is a Sokoa Smack Attack. It is a solo Smack Attack because James is got family obligations as well as working retail. So he's now a manager for his store. So he has a lot going on. So we're going to go solo today, unless somebody decides they want to jump in, and then hey, we'll rip from there. But so we're talking World Tag League. AEW is continuing to move forward with their stuff. It's kind of a mess right now, as we find out. Still, the Elite are back, and they're doing this Wayward Son bit. I don't know about it. It's whatever. The Elite, Kenny Omega, and the Bucks are back. But I think the real interesting thing we're seeing, apparently, Eric Young was literally murdered by Cody Deaner on Impact this week. He literally killed the guy, as they say on Anchorman. And so, because rumors are Eric Young is going back to WWE. So we're seeing Triple H continue to have influence. We're going to talk about that tonight, about what happened last night on Smackdown as much. So quick question for the group. Aaron, I know you don't really have Christmas or anything like that, but who here has their Christmas stuff up already? The most decorating I'm doing for Christmas is, as you can see in my office, camera right there, is this tree that the kids put up in my office, and then of course the building. Because it's post Thanksgiving now, so you can do that, and you can play Christmas music now. And by the way, the best Christmas song ever has been released by the old 97s during the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. I don't know what Christmas is, but Christmas time is here. It makes Mariah Carey suck balls, and I'm just saying. Well, she already did. We know that. That's how she got her singing career. But thank you, Jacob. But it's infinitely the greatest Christmas song ever. I think the line that says "Ho ho 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 ho," Earthlings are so weird. I don't know what Christmas is, but Christmas time is here, and it's great. Hey, Jerome, what's up, my man? Good to see you. So that's great. There's also a part where if you're not good, he shoots missiles at your toes. He'll throw sugar plums at your head. If you're not good, he'll put Doug in your stocking. It's great. The old 97s, if you haven't seen the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special yet, it's amazing. Very good. It's the first DC project that does not have a villain. Marvel. It's the first. Sorry. Whoa. Thank you. It's been a morning already. The first Marvel project that doesn't have a villain, but it's done very, very well. And super funny. Kevin Bacon is hilarious in this. It's great. So make sure you're checking that out. Easily the best Christmas special of the year. I had to spend last week at Thanksgiving with my parents. And my mom is a notorious Hallmark Channel woman. And anytime there's nobody near watching the TV for football, even if it's for 30 seconds, she's changed it to the Hallmark Channel. And good luck getting my mom to change it back. She has to leave the room for at least 20 minutes before you can even attempt to change it back to something not Hallmark Channel because she loves them, which is weird. But then I find out one of my friends from college, her daughter was in one of the Hallmark Channel movies last week that we saw that had Bruce Campbell in it, which was weird and super cool. So, yeah. So in a 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon way, I know Bruce Campbell. Weird. Anyway, so that was. I hope y'all had a good Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving went well for us. Ate lots of food, had a good time with family. Yeah. Well, I don't try to watch Hallmark Christmas movies, Elizabeth, but no one crosses Jesse. at the house when it's holiday season. This is the same woman who's had her decorations up since Halloween. Yeah, we don't mess with Jesse.
And there's over 300 Santas.
There's over 300 Santas. If you go to my Instagram, you can see the 6-foot tall Santa, the 2 5-foot. Oh no, they're over 5 foot tall because they're taller than me and I'm 5'9". There's a 4-foot Santa and the videos and such of everything in between. So if you haven't gone to my Instagram, Jay Reezyman, and you can go see. Is good. I did like Jerome. I did like the Futurama Christmas episode where Santa was. Yeah, that was good. Let's see. Other Christmas Vacation is a must. It's not Christmas if you haven't watched Christmas Vacation. Elf has become a good favorite of mine. That's it. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. It is a movie at Christmas. So because why? It's done. I would even argue that Home Alone is not a Christmas movie. It is a movie at Christmas. So, and it's a movie. Yeah, Home Alone 1 is not a Christmas movie, Aaron. It is a movie at Christmas. So, yes, the first Santa Claus with Tim Allen is a must. I think so. I think you have to watch that too. That's my triumvirate for Christmas movies is the Santa Claus, the first one with Tim Allen, Elf, and Christmas Vacation. That's how you do. It's a Wonderful Life is not a Christmas movie, by the way. It is a movie about a guy contemplating suicide. So, I would say yes, in a way. Lab Rat, Home Alone 2 is closer to a Christmas movie than Home Alone 1 is. But I could still argue that because they did do Home Alone without the Christmas thing. So my thing is, if you can remove Christmas and it can still stand alone as a movie, it's not a Christmas movie. Die Hard, same thing. They took the Christmas out of it, and it's still alone as a movie. If you take Christmas out of Elf, it doesn't work. If you take Christmas out of Christmas Vacation, it doesn't work. I mean, yes, you had the vacation movie in, yeah, you had European Vacation, but it's the theme. It's part of it. It's an aspect of it. So, yeah, and Jerome, you have a great family because Christmas Vacation, that is every time you hear a bell, Christmas Vacation should be watched because It's a Wonderful Life is not a Christmas movie. It's a movie about a guy contemplating suicide and what would happen if he wasn't theirs. And again, they don't even say it was Christmas. It's just the holiday time. They don't even say it's Christmas. Let's see. So yeah, I have lots of hot takes on movies. In case you don't know, my degree's in radio, TV, and movie production. So yeah, I do want to see Violent Night. That looks good. David Harbour as Santa who kicks ass. I had a friend go see that, said it was really good. So I wanted to see that. Saw Wakanda Forever, which was great. Devotion. If you haven't seen that, it's about the first naval aviator who was African American. It was excellent. Yeah, and Violent Night does look great. Elizabeth, I do want to see that. But Devotion, super good movie. I enjoyed that. That was very good. Just a good film. So yeah, if you're looking for something different to watch, yeah, it's a Goldberg movie, Aaron. Don't go watch that. What's the one with Turbo Man, Arnold Schwarzenegger? There was that Christmas movie. It's okay. So there's lots of Christmas movies out there. Let me know what's your favorite Christmas movie. And it's not Christmas. It has to be you don't think it's Christmas until this movie has been watched by you. Fat Man. That was the one where the guys tried to go kill Santa Claus, right, Lab Rat? I think so. That's the one where, yeah, Mel Gibson's playing Santa Claus, and these guys try to go kill him. Isn't that the case, Lab Rat? I think so. So, or whoever else knows. That looked interesting. I haven't seen that one yet. I do want to see that. Wow. Okay. Well, I've made 15 minutes and I haven't talked wrestling yet. That's impressive. I kind of touched on World Tag League, but then we went down the rabbit hole of Christmas movies. So thank you for that. Yes. Get to the chopper. A rich kid hires thugs to kill Santa. Okay. I got to see that. All right, Jacob, that's on the list. Fat Man. We're going to watch that one. Sounds good. And check that out. So let's do this nice and neat and dirty. Let's go ahead and talk some SmackDown. You guys throw your comments in here as always. Let's riff and raff and talk about those things. If anyone ever wants to like feel brave enough and say, shoot me the link, I'll shoot you the link. And we'll have some fun. And you can come on here and talk too. And give us your opinions. But let's talk SmackDown. SmackDown last night, December 2nd. Was Friday night last night, emanated from Buffalo, New York. And of course, we had the commentary team of Michael Cole and Wade Barrett. You know, it's I got to be honest with you, I like Wade. Wade's fine. I miss Cole. I mean, not Cole. I miss Pat McAfee. I mean, I really do. I felt like last night would have been a night that would really have shown his talent. Not that Wade didn't do a good job. I thought it was a solid night. I didn't think it was. I mean, there were some lows, don't get me wrong, but I think there was a lot of highs. There's some good stuff. We moved forward with a lot of things. But I really feel like Pat would have made a difference in some of these things last night. So, yes, thank God, Lab Rat, we don't have Corey. I would rather have Wade Barrett 100 times over 100 than Corey. Corey is just awful. Corey sucks. So we're at the KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York, in the Ben Hameen area. So I'm sure the tarps were out in full effect last night. And so we start last night with Sami Zayn's music hitting and the Usos and Solo Sikoa walking down to the ring, and everybody's all excited. And that Jay's like, the bloodline is in your city. And he starts to talk to him about Survivor Series and that they leveled up. But then they're like, no, bro. We're about Sami. Tonight, Sami was the MVP because they had a package showing those kind of things and saying, this is what Sami did. And Sami was like, oh, stop it. And then there was a loud Sami Uso chant from the crowd. And Jay was like, I doubted him for a long time. He didn't like him. But the decision was standing with the family. He earned respect. And that's because of Zayn that they won at War Games. And that's too much. And he doesn't know what to do. Jimmy tells him he has one question, and that's how is he feeling? And the fans chant Usi. And, of course, we get the pop. And he says that he's feeling pretty Usi. And Zayn and Jimmy go for the handshake. And they look at Jay, and he joins them. And they all hug. And Solo's just looking like Solo. And just standing there. And then out come the Brawling Brutes. Sheamus tells Zayn he hates to kick the bollocks of a fellow ginger, which cracked me up. And then it's enough talking for tonight. It's fight night. And so we have Sheamus versus Sami Zayn. I don't know. Yes, they are the new main event Mafia. And Jerome and I agree. They should have put this. This would have been a good end of the show thing. But I also understand coming in hot. They didn't take too much time here to talk. They had an opening segment. It was nice. But you want to get this out of the way because I feel like you want to start the show hot. And this was a way to start the show hot. You have Sheamus coming out with the Brawling Brutes, and you have Sami and Sheamus in a match, which was good. Because I wasn't upset with how they ended the night, to be honest. They ended the night fairly well. So I was not upset with that. I could see this being a closer, but I also liked the fact that they put this in the open and they started off hot. This is, I think, my biggest complaint with SmackDown from the beginning has been there's nothing that interests me to make me want to stay and watch the show. And so when you start with a show, when you start something hot like this, it makes it really worthwhile of wanting to listen and pay attention and see what goes forward. So we had Sami versus Sheamus, which on paper looks, like Sheamus is going to beat the shit out of Sami. Let's be honest. It really looks like that. But, we see that it starts off that way, that Sheamus is just kind of beating him around a little bit. And then we go to commercial break. Back to the commercial break. Sheamus is still kind of working everything, but then he gets distracted. And the Usos, and Zayn hits a DDT. And he starts getting the upper hand. And then things just go back and forth. And we see all kinds of things. And then, of course, we go to – so this is a 2 commercial break segment. which again, I'm not mad at this. Is this new idea of we're going to start hot with a hot match, and it's going to go 2 segments. This has been a consistent thing now, because I think one of the things we've complained about, at least me personally, is I want to see more wrestling on the show, and let the story be told in the ring, because I'm used to New Japan style, and so therefore, that's what we got, and there is not anything wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that at all. So it's been good, for me. I enjoy seeing that. So after the second break, we see this is when the finishers start coming out. We see Sammy at the top of the ropes, but Sheamus hits him with a flying knee, and he goes for the cover, but Sammy kicks out. Sheamus gets Sammy on his back and climbs the second rope, goes for the white noise, but Sammy reverses that to a sunset flip powerbomb and goes for the cover, but Sheamus kicks out. Sammy goes for a haluva kick, but Sheamus grabs him and hits the white noise, and he goes for the cover, but Sammy kicks out. Sheamus goes for the brogue kick, but Sammy rolls to the apron, and Sheamus grabs him and hits him with a 10 beat to the bodhrán. It's supposed to be 10, but it goes 20. Sheamus is about to go for a brogue kick, but Jimmy gets on the ring and distracts Sheamus. Sammy grabs Sheamus and goes for the cover, but he kicks out. Then Sammy distracts the referee. Jimmy gets a kick onto Sheamus, and then Sheamus gets hit with a blue thunder bomb and goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3, and the Brawling Brutes and the Bloodline fight on the outside of the ring. And then here's the funny part. Like, I think most of the way through the match, I was like, it was just Jimmy and Jay. I was like, where's Solo at? And then, yeah, I can't stand the picture-in-picture, Jerome. Either leave or just don't put a commercial. But that I'm like, where's the Solo? And then when it starts to break down with the Brawling Brutes and they start getting involved, Solo jumps in and is like out of nowhere. So yeah, I can't stand the picture-in-picture. Either just go to commercial or don't. Yeah, and AEW does it too. Granted, they only have an hour, so I understand it, but still, here's the thing: if you're gonna do picture-in-picture, don't do stuff where you want to hear what they're calling. Have the audio up or do something. I don't know, but figure that out better. But long story short, Usos interfere, and Sammy gets the win. And 1, 2, 3. And so, there, and that's how it happens. And the Bloodline celebrate at ringside, and so after that, we get a video package with Santos Escobar talking about how he will win the SmackDown World Cup, which guarantees he's not winning the SmackDown World Cup. I don't know. It felt like doing it that early makes it feel like, you're not going to win. So then we go to a commercial break after this video package, and we come back to commercial. Megan is talking with Kofi, and that Kofi is the first superstar to declare entry into the Royal Rumble. So we now have that idea that the Rumble is starting. So we've had a trimmer of the Rumble, as they say. So we know that Kofi is the first declared entrant into the Royal Rumble. And then they start talking to him about that. Well, Aaron, it's a World Cup because Santos Escobar is from Mexico, but they had 3 United States people: Braun Strowman, Ricochet, and somebody else, I think. Mexico was represented. Shinsuke. So that's Japan, right? I think that was it. Yeah, it wasn't a great World Cup.
It was a 3-week basically.
Yeah.
Literally the first. You got down to semifinals by the second week.
Yeah, it was. I mean, basically, So basically, this was just a number one contenders. It's a fancy way to do number one contenders match. So, yeah. So let's see here. Let's see. We had Braun Strowman, Sami Zayn, he's Canadian / Syrian. Santos Escobar, who's Mexican. Oh, Jinder Mahal, that's right. Jinder was in it. He's Indian. Butch, who's English. Ricochet, who's American. Shinsuke Nakamura, who's Japanese. And, oh, that's right, Mustafa Ali, who's American. So, 1, 2, 3 Americans. Sami Zayn, who's a North American. Santos Escobar, who's a North American. Close enough. That sounds like a World Cup to me. It's enough. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So, exactly. No, I agree. Yeah. This is not really a World Cup. It's just a fancy way. They're trying to glob on to Fox has the World Cup. So they're what was they call that synergy? Doing the brand where they are going, hey, Fox has the World Cup. We are going to have a World Cup, and that's synergy. We're branding all together. See, and we're going to put these guys in here who are not from the United States, but they are because they're working for us and they do all that kind of stuff. So we're going to call it a World Cup. So there, that's why it is. Yeah, exactly, Sonic. This is we know Kofi's not going to win the Royal Rumble, and this was just a fancy way to get Ricochet his rematch, which we knew that was coming because he hadn't had his rematch. There was a WWE UK, Aaron. As a matter of fact, Butch, aka whatever his name was, he was champ for a while for WWE UK. So, yeah, technically there was. Yeah, there's no WWE Japan because Japan keeps saying, no, WWE, get the fuck out of here. We don't want you here. So, even though they've tried, and what's up, Sonic? Yeah. So, United States was, the only place you can call it. Yeah. So we had India. So we had Asia represented with India and Japan. 2-continent World Cup because the rest were North American. So, so anyway, it'd have been cool if they had pulled people from other companies and pulled a World Cup that way. But we know that's not going to happen. They're not going to do that because you got to control your roster. And so they go with what they got. And as we said, it's just a fancy way to get Ricochet a title shot. A fancy way to say number 1 contenders match and to maybe glob on to the idea of people who are watching for the World Cup for soccer will watch for the World Cup for wrestling. So, anyway. So, but we know Kofi's going to win. They ask him about the World Cup finals match that night that's going to be happening. He says he likes what he sees from Santos, but he can't bet against Ricochet. In comes Imperium, and they tell Megan why she would ask Kofi about what's going on since he and Wood spend more time on the internet than they do in the ring, which is it's a fair shot. I like that. I like that shot. Kofi says Woods isn't here tonight, but he has no problem getting in the ring with any one of them. And in comes Gunther or Walter. He says tonight he'll be in the ring with him. And when that happened, me and Jacob went, "Oh shit, Kofi is losing more of his chest tonight."
Specifically said he was going to die.
We specifically said he was going to die, but my thought was, he's going to lose more of his chest tonight. And so that was interesting to say the least to have that. Walter says, "No, you're going to wrestle me," And so we go to commercial, or no. All right. I don't know why you're in here. Do you need to be here? Okay. Didn't you bring a book to read? Okay. Thank you. And so he has that look of like, oh shit, I fucked up. And I think we even did you fucked up. But then we cut to the Bray Wyatt sitting in the backstage in the dark. Wyatt says that we were spoiled in society, giving us a wild lifestyle. People forget that once upon a time we were all wild animals, and animals and insects eat each other to survive, and that is normal. Wyatt says we don't dare talk about those things, even though these primal instincts are in our minds. Wyatt says that those ideas are still there, but he is not the one that hurt LA Knight. Wyatt says he hurt him and laughs, and now he rejoices. But if he had been the one, we would all know because there would be none of LA Knight left. And we saw some of this and everything like that. We go to commercial break. How do you guys feel about this? How do you feel about this Bray? Elizabeth says, "Okay, I love me some Bray, but we don't need to see him every week." What do you guys think? Do you think he needs to be more special? Does he need to be up front and everything? Should they have built him along? Okay, so Labrat says, "Can we just get over this Bray thing already?" Aaron Bid Shlomo has a bunch of snoozies there, so yeah, yeah, I agree, Jerome. He should be a mystery. He shouldn't be on every week. I think they're overcorrecting. They did the White Rabbit bit that was good. Maybe they cut it a little early. I don't know. But I think at the same time, we don't need to see him every week. It needs to be, you know what? Can I send money to Bray? Hey, Scott, how you doing? Probably because, here's the thing with Bray. If he's going to be the supernatural, mysterious figure, then I don't need to see him every week. LA Knight gets hurt. We don't need to know that he did it. We don't even need to know he's in the building. We don't even need to know anything. We just need to know he got hurt. Well, could it be Bray? Could it not be Bray? Who knows? What's up, Frank? Pickle Barrel's ass. Frank, good to see you. So media, what's up? So, I'm of the mindset that, Bray needs to be that special Undertaker type character, but they've never done that. Unfortunately, they've never made him that special character that they did with Undertaker, and it's already losing its luster. Let's be honest. When they debuted him, it was cool. We were excited. The White Rabbit thing was awesome, and now it feels like they've botched the ball already again, and they've made him less special again. When that's not the case, he should be special. He should be unique. So after that, they go to commercial break, and we come back with Emma's in the backstage dressing, and up comes Madcap Moss, who asks her. He asks how she is, and Emma says she's good, but being away for 5 years is a long time, and competition is tough. Madcap tells her it doesn't matter how long it's been, not to forget who she is. The entire women's revolution doesn't happen without her. She worked for the chain, but the entire world has changed. She is Emma, and she belongs here. Emma thanks and kisses him on the cheek as she continues to stretch. Ooh. So we're getting a little love connection with Madcap Moss and Emma here. Emma. Is that how they say it in Australia? Emma. Hi, Emma. I don't know. Okay, yeah, the screen's going crazy and the Moss showing. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and right. Anybody care about Emma? She says it's all about me, and everybody's like, who? I didn't know. Oh, okay, Elizabeth. They were already dating, so it's like I didn't know that. Yeah. So I didn't know they were already dating. Okay. Again, I don't keep up with who's dating who or what or whatever. So who cares? Yeah. So okay, and then Lab Rat, we need a new gimmick. And stop trying to make crappy gimmicks work. Bray, Lacey Evans, House of Black, and Vikings. I agree. I think Emma needs to do something different. This is all about me, Emma, whatever. Great. That was a long time ago that you were a part of the women's revolution. You were footnote in that. You weren't like the catalyst. You were part of it. Yeah. Well, a lot of people got their jobs back. Yeah. So, okay. So yeah, that's that. I would say Bray, yes. Lacey Evans, they're going back to the Marine bit again, and she's stronger and all that kind of stuff. Apparently, she was down here in Texas doing some stuff with Black Rifle Coffee and some other things down here. The Vikings, they're interesting. I'm going to say that. House of Black, whatever. It's AEW, I don't care. But yes, Aaron, I'm going to agree with you as this. Sarah Logan is more interesting as Valhalla and at least she's doing something and commit to what she's doing. Yes, and it's not far from what she does because her and Eric live that legit Viking lifestyle. So you know, I think that go with what you know. Those two know Viking lifestyle and being Vikings and living that way. I think they're going to be fine with that one. Yeah, exactly. Meaning M5. She did all about me impact, and it didn't fare well. And we got Marine Ho Lacey. So we're gonna have Sergeant Lacey instead of Sergeant Slaughter. Um, who knows? But they're doing something. They're trying to do something. They fucked up the first time. They turned her too quick. They didn't let that happen as they needed to. So, but after all that, we have Shayna Baszler versus Emma. This is a match. Let's be honest. We knew Shayna was going to win. Yes, exactly, Elizabeth. Let Viking Raiders be violent and smash dudes. And they're starting to let them do that. They were doing that. Then they had to not do that. I don't know why, because they were bringing Sarah Logan in and making that tie in. But yes, but we have this Shayna Baszler Emma match. It was fine, but we all knew that Shayna Baszler was going to win, and she, Shayna got an armbar on the top rope and gets Emma in the Curafina clutch in the middle of the ring as Emma taps out. At one point I think Emma tried to do tarantula on Shayna Baszler, and I'm like, bro, Shayna Baszler, I think she'll be fine if you put her in the tarantula. She's gonna be okay. It's not a big deal. And that's the hard part right now. I think with this match and with Shayna Baszler and her and Ronda doing the real bits, and then you got wrestlers doing wrestling bits. You got Emma, who's kind of cartoonish and a wrestler, going up against Shayna Baszler, who's a legit fighter. So it makes the stuff that Emma does look less real. Whereas when Shayna does it, it makes it look more real. And yes, I agree, Frank. Shayna and Ronda look like the Nasty Boys 2022. I would agree that. Yes, and I agree. Medium 5. Shayna winning, she should have won unless it should be something out of nowhere or catastrophic. Shayna should almost always win. I agree. And then even out of nowhere, you've got to pull something pretty devastating out of nowhere, like a stunner or something like that, or RKO, and it better make sense. So after the match, though, is where the story is quote unquote getting told. Shayna grabs Emma's arm and is going to break it, like she's done before, and she gets, but Shotzi comes out and gets in the ring, and but Baszler kicks her and then falls with a knee to the face, and then Shayna steps on Shotzi's hair and twists Shotzi's arm and was about to break her arm, and then Raquel Rodriguez runs down to the ring with her left arm in a brace because Shayna and Ronda broke her arm, quote unquote, and then out comes, and so a one-armed Raquel Rodriguez made Shayna Baszler back down. But then there were all the other two, and all three women look at Shayna, and Shayna gets out of the ring. And then we cut to Michael Cole says in the women's division, there's also Lacey Evans, who's going to go back to basics, and we got a video of Lacey Evans training with the U.S. Marine Corps. And guys, you recognize this, right? That, yeah. So, well, let's see. All right, I'm sorry, I'm following the chats here. I will agree with you, Sonic, if that Liv was braver than because it wasn't three people. Yeah, it was three people, and one of them's got a broke arm. Like, I'm like, you're Shayna Baszler. We could have taken those people out. And yes, supposedly Eric Young's coming back. So I don't know if I want to see Sanity though. I really don't. I think they'll be fine with that. Yeah, I don't know, media. I don't know if she's dropped weight, but she's definitely is dressing more feminine. But I mean, She still does the bit where she's the weightlifter and she wears her outfit so that you could see her back, because that's her quote unquote defining image or whatever. I don't know. But I think the women's division is an interesting place right now. I've said from the beginning, Lacey Evans could be your anti-Charlotte if you'd have done it right. And so, um, I think there's some interesting characters there. The trick is going to be getting everybody to play properly and make it look right. I think that's going to be the big thing because right now your top two people are Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey, which is fine, but they're legit badass fighters. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Frank, Lacey, she's pretty hot. She had some pictures released this week that I was like, damn. And they were with rifles too. So, damn. So yeah, it was good. And so anyway, um, I think the idea here is you have Lacey in the wings. You're gonna build her up. The question becomes, she's going back to this Marine gimmick again and training, and they're gonna go for that again. Are they gonna stick with it um, the whole time? Are they gonna let her be the hero? Is she gonna be the villain? What is it she's gonna be? Because I granted, I know Marines. I don't know if you've known anybody who's a Marine. A Marine is a Marine is a Marine, and they're always a Marine. And so sometimes they can be heelish, but usually they're pretty cool people and people you want to be around. And so it's almost this weird dichotomy. If she's going to come back and be a Marine and be a Sergeant Slaughter type character, that's got to be a babyface, right? Unless you be like, I don't want to be a Marine anymore. I'm gonna be French, which that would be the ultimate heel move because French are assholes sometimes. So that's kind of where I think really we have to kind of question this decision making process of what we're doing with the women's division. It feels like we've been in a holding pattern for a while with the women's division that we don't know what to do. We're kind of trying to figure it all out. Let's put all our pieces on the board. Let's get everybody there, and then we can go from there. That's what it feels like to me. But I don't know what you guys think. Um, that's that. Okay. So after that, we got a commercial break, and then we've got a video of Ricochet talking about winning the Smackdown World Cup. There we go. So that's that. And then we have our WWE Intercontinental Champion Walter with Imperium versus Kofi Kingston. God, there were so many times poor Kofi just took some chops to the chest that I thought his chest was going to cave in. Oh, okay. All right. I like that, media. So you think they need Sergeant Slaughter to appear as a heel? All right. G.I. Ho. Sonic, you're bad, dude. That was good, though. I like it. I like it. But she is married with 2 kids. I'm just saying. But apparently on porn, from what I've seen, you can be married with kids and still be a hoe. I don't know. So, anyway, G.I. Cuckold? I don't know. Who knows? But Sergeant Slaughter a couple times is the heel enforcement. That'd be interesting. So, media, what you're saying is this Sergeant, okay, and maybe even talk down that nobody in the women's division is worthy of being, with her as a Marine, that she's better than all of them. But like this, they did this whole given that she's not better than anybody else, but nobody's better than her thing. I could see that. I figuring out how to make that work. That'd be cool. But I think media in the long run, with Slaughter and the way he is right now, the nostalgia factor would kick in, and people are going to be cheering. You got to go babyface, and if you're going to put Lacey with Sergeant Slaughter, you got to do that. He's known as a babyface right now. It'd make more sense if like JBL was a heel and he finished it, and he finished as a heel and was a heel. Sergeant Slaughter finished as a babyface. And yeah, lab rat, that's what I'm saying. But Slaughter, yeah. I like that. Aaron, make Sergeant Slaughter her trainer, and if she's on her way to the top, and he could be her drill sergeant, that would be cool. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Who doesn't want to see Sergeant Slaughter? I agree. It's right there. Hey, WWE, if you're gonna put this out there, just know that John Enright and the chat that it consists of Elizabeth, Lab Rat, Sonic, Aaron Bridge Loaded, Medium in 5, um, Elizabeth, Frank's Pick a Barrel Ass, who else? Scott. Um, yeah, we all came up with this idea, so we want our money. So we want our money, please. Or you can hire us as your booking team. Either way, the Smack Attack chat booking team. We'll do that. You already all right, media. All right, fine. You get that one. But then, hey, we're a team here. All right, we're a team. So let's do that. All right, so let's talk about the Intercontinental match. So we had poor Kofi, who took some incredible chops from Gunther, Walter, and flips him around, does some stuff. Kofi goes up for the powerbomb. Kofi gets put up for the powerbomb, but as he's getting ready to do it, we have Trip Nip Braun Strowman himself coming out. I say Trip Nip because he has the 2 here and the one on the nose. And that's how Raquel Rodriguez or Gonzalez, whatever her name is, pulls him around on the chain. So it's because we have Imperium kind of doing their thing and being involved, and Braun comes to kind of help out because now Braun is a part of New Day, sort of. Because that happened a couple weeks ago. But yeah, that's the thing. So Braun comes out, he runs after Kaiser, and Vinci jumps off the steps, but Braun catches him and slams him into a ring post. Then he runs Vinci over the barricade, and then Kaiser jumps onto Braun's back. Braun flips him and throws him over the barricade. And then, of course, Gunther goes for the powerbomb, but Kofi hits him with the SOS, goes for the cover, and then Gunther kicks out, and that goes to our commercial break. And then back to the commercial, Michael Cole mentions that Braun chased Imperium to the back because it was a commercial break. So, yeah, there we go. That's what I think, Elizabeth. Or the nose one. The nose one makes no sense to me. So anyway, they're gone. So it's just a mano a mano match of Walter and Kofi. And it was fine. We had a good time. Gunther got the Boston Crab. But we see at the end, Kofi goes for the SOS, but Gunther turns into a gut wrench. Kofi lands on his feet. Gunther hits a drop kick, then hits a power bomb, and Kofi kicks out. And then Gunther grabs Kofi and does this really cool slam, which he calls the last stanza, I think it is. Something like that. It's very orchestral in nature. It's like the last stanza or the last symphony or something along those lines is what he called his new move that he debuted last night against Kofi Kingston. So, of course, you're getting ready to have a Intercontinental Championship match with a number 1 contender. And so you have a new move that you debut last night. And it was for the match, and it was for the title last night, guys. So it did say that the title was on the line. But we all knew Kofi wasn't going to win. And Walter gets the win. And that the last symphony, that's right. Michael Coates states that that Walter was talking to him earlier and telling him that he's trying to evolve and that he was trying a new move, and that new move is the last symphony. So there we go. So then we have Bloodline are backstage. Zayn says he knows a great place to eat tonight, and Sammy is about to walk away. And Jimmy tells him to let Solo go with him since he's made a lot of enemies. Solo and Sammy walk away. Jimmy tells Jay it's crazy how Jay has Sammy, and Jimmy asks him if he ever spoke to Sammy about having lied to him when he told him that he didn't talk to Kevin Owens. Jay says he didn't, but that Roman told him he saw what he needed and that they won at Survivor Series. So then in comes Sheamus, who hits them with a shillelagh. Sheamus tells them good luck in their match on Monday, and if they win, he and Drew McIntyre will be waiting for them. So a new tag team has entered the chat. Not the tag team that you've established with Butch and Rig Holland, but a new one of Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. So yeah. Yeah, and Sonic. That was funny. Yeah. Braun, this is high flyers from WWE, so he makes them their guardian. I wouldn't call New Day like high flyers though. Like, I would like Ricochet, Rey Mysterio. Those would be concerned. Are we sure Vince McMahon is gone? Supposedly, but you know, Triple H has boys too. As we know, Ricochet is Triple H's boy. They are best buds. I guess it's similar to Braun's Power Slam. I don't know, Sonic. I liked it. I liked at least we're putting a name on it. It was cool. But yeah, so we have this whole idea, and that and we had this moment where Jimmy says, tells Jay it's crazy how Jay has Sammy, and he asked him if he ever spoke to Sammy about having lied to him. We told him that he didn't talk to Kevin Owens. So we have that set up, but it's all good. Yeah, I don't know. We'll hear. And then we have, God, we got to talk damage control, which I think Michael Cole said that exact thing last night. My finish is a low blow. Yeah, right on. Why not just kick him in the nuts? There you go. There's your finish every time. Boom. The 4 union with Sheamus, maybe media M5, but Jimmy is supposed to be a problem for the bloodline. And remember, before Jimmy's DUI, he was against Jay and following Roman blind. True. But here's the thing nobody's considered. There's a guy in the bloodline that can fuck all this up. His name means alone. He took the name Solo Sikoa because he grew up alone without the help of his brothers and those in front of him. I'm just saying, Solo could be the one who could cause this whole thing to fall. I mean, let's look at it. The way he interacts, the way he stays off by himself. He stands there and, true, but he's by himself. He doesn't interact necessarily. He doesn't do things. And he has that look of like, whatever, when they tell him to do stuff. So I could see Solo being the one causing the problems on this. I think there's small seeds here. Stay there. Even when they told him, hey, Solo, go with Sam, he's like, I don't think it's a tough thing. I think it's more of a fine, I'll do this right now. I'm biding my time. Who knows? Media, that's the crazy thing. You never know at this point. But I think there's enough interest there to really kind of lay a seed for what could happen. It could even be that Solo likes Sammy and does something for Sammy that he doesn't do for Roman and them, and maybe that's something there, and they go on their own thing. I don't know. But out comes damage control, and Michael Cole even goes, and it's damage control. He literally said it like that, which is great. They jibber-jabbered for a little bit. They chance for Becky, and Bayley tells them Becky's not here because, whatever. Bayley wants to talk about the SmackDown roster. Says no one wanted to face them, and it's the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion in history, blah, 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 blah. Out comes Liv Morgan. She tells Bayley that she has a problem with the SmackDown Women's Division, and they're like, okay, let's go. And so Liv counts that there are 3 of them and says it's fair, and so she runs towards the ring. Io Sky's to the outside, but Liv throws her into a barricade. Dakota's on the outside of the ring, but Liv throws her into a barricade, and Liv gets in the ring and spears Bayley. Sky and Dakota attack Liv, and then out comes Tegan Knox, and she returns to SmackDown. And she attacks damage control. Liv grabs a kendo stick and hits damage control with it, and Knox hits Bayley with the shiniest wizard. Which her shiniest wizard, her shiny wizard looks terrible. I'm sorry. This was an awful segment. I didn't like it. The fact that Michael Cole goes and his damage control should tell you everything you need to know right there. Tegan Knox coming back does absolutely nothing because I'm afraid at this point that she's going to fart and her knee's going to blow up again. I mean, she's had more knee injuries than I changed my underwear. It's awful. I don't think that she moves the needle at all. Her hair was interesting, purple, yellow, green. I think it was very Mardi Gras. But what about you guys? I mean, do you think Tegan does anything for this? I don't think it does. I think it's, again, it's because Dakota Kai betrayed Tegan Knox way back in NXT. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think we all media vibe. Yeah, media who? Yeah, okay. Tegan is blah, and she's gonna have her knee explode in the ring. Why they act like Tegan was having come back? Plus, she'll be gone with a blown knee. 4 knee injuries. Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. The Shining Wizard looked horrible, more like a knee to the gut. Is that she? I don't even know what that means. Media, but anyway, yes, we debut another person that was a part of the roster, got let go, and is now back. But again, doesn't do anything. It doesn't help the roster. I feel like hopefully, I hope this time. Look, I hope this time, because I mean, I don't even know if she was wrestling at this point. I don't know if she was. Yeah, I'd rather have Kari back too, but she's the IWGP Women's Champion over in. I don't know if I want. I'm on a work computer, Media M5. I am not going to Google Spinner on a work computer. Y'all nasty. I'm sure of it. But Kari Sane is now the IWGP Women's Champion because New Japan and Stardom have come together and they now have a title for women. So that's that. So yes, Kari is not coming back anytime soon. But that's okay. She's doing good in Japan right now. But yeah, this doesn't do anything. I feel like this is sad. It's almost like Triple H going, "Oh yeah, this is all my things in NXT that work. Let me bring them back. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine." It's not fine. It's okay. It's whatever. Yeah. So, this was a shit segment. This has to be the lowest segment of the night. This has to be the shit segment of the night. It was whatever, and nothing looked real clean or anything like that. At least, hey, I will say this: we all know Liv is doing this. Yeah, we had the exactly. I was about to say this. Liv being the toughest woman on the roster is hilarious, but still, hey, she got in there with 3 people. Shayna Baszler stood down with 3 people, and one of them's arm was broke. So honestly, this makes Shayna Baszler look shitty and like a coward because she could have beaten up those other 2 people, and Raquel Gonzalez has 1 arm, or Rodriguez, whatever her freaking name is, they're calling her. And Liv is like, "There's 3 people, fine, let's do it. I don't care." So this is again one of those things, and then Tegan Knox, "Hey, I'm here. All right, the Welsh superstar, whatever they called her." So I don't know. So anyhow, let's move on from that because it was whatever night. It was a way to introduce. Tegan Knox, which was like a fart in church. So we got a commercial break, and then Karrion Kross and Scarlett are in a dark room. Kross says the universe is one giant storm. It's chaos, and he embraces it. People struggle with that reality. The more they fight it, it really puts them in their places and that they really don't want to be in. And he had to show Drew and teach Madcap that you don't walk against the wind. And now it's time to take someone else into the eye of the storm. He looks at Scarlett, the deck of cards, and as she shows a card with Rey Mysterio on it. So Karrion Kross is going to start focusing on Rey Mysterio. As if poor Rey doesn't have enough problems with Dominic. But I don't know if you guys saw this. This came out in the news this week. Dominic had a reason for attacking his dad at their home when he did. And I am fully in support of this, 100%. It would never happen in my house because my mom would whip my ass. But he said the reason he attacked his dad at their house was because his dad already had a Christmas tree up and it was before Thanksgiving. I can't fault that logic. That is not bad logic at all. It's good logic. Dominic in this small moment is a hero. Dominic is standing up for the rights of things that happen. So, Dominic, for beating the crap out of your dad in front of your family because they have the Christmas tree up before Thanksgiving. Dominic is the Smack Attack goat of the week. I agree. I mean, Dominic. Yeah, no, he won't do that. He's too scared. But yeah, so Dominic, goat of the week. My hat's off to you. Hats off, sir, for standing up to your dad, for having his Christmas tree up and beating him up for it. Good job. Good job. Good job. So, yeah, now, not only does he have Dominic to contend with, he has Karrion Kross. So, guys, what do you think? How do you feel about this Karrion Kross Rey Mysterio thing? Yeah, I find it interesting. An interesting matchup. We know the mind games that Karrion Kross can play. The character that he is, him and Scarlett, I think it's going to go bode well. I think it should make for a fun program for these two, especially because it's fresh and new. We haven't seen this before. And the idea, yeah, exactly. Actually, his birthday is in 5 days. And tomorrow, Sonic, we're supposed to be going, there is a farmer's market not far from here. And we're going to, there's a guy that makes all these really cool leather products. And he had a hat last time we saw him. And I said, if you want to get that for your birthday, we can get it at the farmer's market. That's in December. And he said, okay. So yeah, if he wants that hat tomorrow, he's definitely not going to hit me with a chair. If he wants that hat tomorrow for his birthday, because his birthday is December 8th. So the next time we record, I will have a 17-year-old. So next Saturday, I will have a 2-day-old 17-year-old. So, yeah. Media, I don't think it'll be another Batista Ray story. I mean, it is in the sense of a David and Goliath story, but I think they're going to be more mind games played. It's going to be more cerebral, and I think it'll be an interesting matchup. So I know where you're going with that, the idea of a David versus Goliath, and I think that's the story that's going to be told. But I like the way they're going to package it. I feel like it's going to be packaged well with that. So I'm looking forward to this to see where it is. Michael Cole and Wade Barrett mentioned that next week is Kurt Angle's birthday celebration. And then we cut to Uncle Howdy, who asks, how well do you know your neighbor? He says he knows how he thinks and how he feels is all fiction, as he's talking videos of Bray Wyatt flash across the screen. So, guys, we've had two Bray Wyatt. We had 2 Bray Wyatt segments on the night. It's making Bray feel less special, I think. Anyway, what do you guys think? Is that what we're doing? I mean, how do we make sure that Bray stays special when you're doing now 2 segments of of Bray? I don't know. He's Mr. Rogers now. Yeah, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, if we're wanting Brady to be a special, either do one or the other. Don't show both. Don't show me Uncle Howdy and don't show me Bray. Show me one or the other. If you're going to show them at all. Or just do the, like Elizabeth said, just maybe have the screens flash with the moss. And, yeah, I don't know. Now you've oversaturated the market, and he hasn't even wrestled. He hasn't even wrestled yet. And you've oversaturated the market on Bray Wyatt with this new gimmick and what he's doing. I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are no longer a Sokoa Smack Attack. We're bringing in the big guns. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is the day. Yes, sir.
Put them ones up.
Yeah.
Let's see them ones in the chat.
Yeah. What's up,
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good.
I didn't know there was going to be a smack attack today.
Yeah, well, I found out yesterday James had some family commitments as well as that, so I said I'm gonna go solo. So I'll be a Sokoa.
Oh, all right.
Smack attack.
Okay. Well, good to see you. I'll talk to you later. All right. Bye-bye. Goodbye, everyone. Bye.
No.
Yeah, I thought, I don't want to step on your shoes here, but,
No.
like we always talk about with the mental health, you are not alone.
Nice.
There's always a DM that can be sent my way if, you want to have some fun here.
Yeah, it was late last night when I found out, and then we had a fundraiser right before this, so I didn't have any time to reach out before.
All right.
So.
Well, you seem to have been doing fine, but where are you at in the show now?
We are almost to we just finished talking about Karrion Kross versus Ray, and then Kurt Angle on his birthday, and then the Uncle Howdy segment, which was the second segment of Bray Wyatt for the night, which talked about, I feel like there's oversaturation of him.
Barf.
And
Barf.
it's they're already killing him, and he's not even gotten in the ring yet.
Well, why does this guy work here? He hasn't done anything but come to the ring and sob about his problems.
Yeah.
Like, you think maybe, I don't know, match? Just a little something? I know they would tell you, oh, well, he's an attraction and all this other stuff. It's like, yeah, but you gotta do something.
Right.
You gotta do something.
And I mean, you can't show him every week if he's an attraction. If he's an attraction, make him special. Like I think Elizabeth said earlier, just pop up the thing every now, make the screens break out and show the moth or something. We don't need to see him, but we had 2 segments of him tonight with him, and then the Uncle Howdy segment where you have Uncle Howdy talking and you're flashing pictures of him.
But at the same time, you don't want to pay this guy just to do nothing.
Right.
So, look, it's. In the old days, what you would have done is you would have had him squash somebody real quick and then get on a mic and maybe talk about your problems and your feelings and stuff like that.
I didn't want to hurt that guy, but I had to because I just felt it inside.
because they booked it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like you watch the match, like you could see him do, like he's wrestling the guy and he tries to shake hands or whatever, and the guy punches him in the face, and you see that turn. I think we've talked about this before, where this is the Bray Wyatt that we should be. We're like, he doesn't want that demon coming out, and then the guy does something in the match that just makes him snap, and then he's like, I didn't want to do that. Why did you make me do that? Like that struggle, where he's trying to be a good person, but then the person does something to them, and in mid-match makes him turn into that whatever. I feel like that would have been a way better thing. And then he's on the mic. Guys, I'm sorry you saw that. I didn't mean for that to happen. And he's doing that every other week where, but we don't do that.
We don't.
It would be a way better way to handle this character. You're getting him in the ring. Unless Vet, is he not ring ready?
I mean, was he ever?
I don't know.
The thing is with those type of things, you're not going to get ring ready by not being in the ring, and I would even take a different approach. I would probably do something, something along the lines of, like, because he's such a nice guy and try to turn over a new leaf, I would have it be almost like an amateur wrestling thing. Nobody gets any heat. He just wrestles with the guy, like wrestling, grappling.
Yeah.
And then ties him up, and gets a quick pin and then shakes his hand. Like we could have, Olympic level wrestling from Bray Wyatt, and people would probably be confused, but it wouldn't go on long enough for people to like hate it. It would just be like a quick 2-minute thing or whatever, and people would be like, "Huh, I didn't expect to see that tonight."
Right.
So you're just tacking on 2 minutes to his rambling promo, really. It's not that big of a deal. You still get the entrance, so I don't know. But, I would just never hired him ever again. But that's just me. I do realize that I'm probably in the minority there. But,
I mean, if I like the idea of him as a character, but I hate what they're doing with him. And if you're not going to have him wrestle, figure out something better to do than this. I mean, like I said, have him wrestle, but fight that demon in the ring where he's literally trying to hold it back. And and then it keeps coming out because something does something, slaps him in the face, or something along those lines. I mean, I feel like that would be the best iteration of what this break could be, but we're not doing that. But like you said, if you're going to hire him at all, I mean, why is he here at this point? If he's come out, he's done entrances, and he's talked, and then supposedly beaten up LA Knight, but it wasn't him. Supposedly, we don't see it, kind of thing.
What do you think about the LA Knight deal? Because I hear people saying, like Ben Hameen doesn't really get it. He doesn't like it. But at the same time, it's like, well, it's not what you would have immediately thought of, and that's why I kind of like it. I think I think in their mind the logic is we're going to pit two guys who can talk against each other, even though they don't really fit, like gimmick wise, but at the same time, who does fit this gimmick?
Right.
It's a patently ridiculous gimmick in the first place. So you take a patently ridiculous normal human, and now you got two ridiculous people being ridiculous. I think there's an interesting dynamic there, but then again, nothing this week. So
right.
It's just
except a video package, I mean.
But not. But what did LA Knight get a video package? I didn't.
No, well, Bray did, and he was in there talking about what he did to him. That it wasn't him, but he didn't want that to come out. And if it was me, I would have heard him, and it wouldn't have been, et cetera, et cetera. It's when they're showing images of him, being hurt and being but if my arm wasn't hurt, and if I didn't have this sling, and then. And they showed him again beaten up and under boxes again and all that fun stuff, kind of thing. So it was implied that it was him, but not him, this whole thing. But, I agree. One, I like how they transitioned LA Knight out of Maximum Male Models, and that's not who he was. And, I thought it was a very smooth transition of getting him out of a terrible gimmick. I didn't like it at first when they brought him in as LA Knight because it felt very stupid, like, LA, like it felt like the shoes, but
it's a horrible name. No arguments name. There.
But he's doing his best to make chicken salad out of chicken shit and owning it. And that idea of like, hey, I'm the best of LA. I'm the guardian of Los Angeles, and this is who I am, kind of thing. And like I make money, and this is what I do. So he's trying the best as he can to own that aspect. They transitioned him smoothly out of it. And then you go into this Bray Wyatt thing, which should have been a push for him, but they've just stagnated this thing so badly that it's hard because I enjoy him on the mic. I don't care what other people say. Some people don't like him. They're like, he's The Rock mixed with, Stone Cold. And I'm like, and? I mean, that's two of the most entertaining people on the mic. So he has a catchphrase. Let me talk to you. Yeah. Those kind of things, that kind of stuff happens. I'm fine with that. It's not like they did like Impact and killed the guy. They haven't murdered somebody on screen because he's leaving. Which I found hilarious. I'm sorry. I know you have to review the Impact attack, but I watched that because the rumors of Eric Young coming back to WWE, and so they're like, "Yeah, kill me." Okay. Yeah, we'll kill a guy. It's like I felt like they were they played that, and then somebody, I guess I didn't watch the official Impact feed. I just was watching the video because I saw the link for it, and at the end, and somebody at the end put the edit of Anchorman, and he goes, and he killed a guy. It's just like, oh my god, that happened, and of course, and everybody on Twitter was like, book Cody Deaner before he gets arrested because he just killed Eric Young on TV.
There's no criminal charges in Impact. We should know this by now.
Yeah, no, having seen the Impact, but I don't know. I think this could have been something better than it was, and
well, that's our review of every WWE show they ever do.
Yeah,
it could have been something better than it was. Good night, everybody.
Hey, you know me. I like to keep it simple and to the point. So, I mean, tonight was different. It was interesting. I feel like the Walter Kofi match was, a unique pairing that we haven't seen. I felt like Kofi was going to lose his chest even more than he had before, which he did. But I found it was a very interesting setup. And then giving Walter a new finisher with the Last Symphony, I think is what he called it. And I found that interesting when you have this number one contenders tournament to face him later on. That you're now, debuting a new thing, which they tied it in saying, he's saying I have to evolve, I have to get better, and so therefore I'm going to have a new finisher. Is what Michael Cole filled in, said he was talking to Walter earlier and
Which
said,
is a lie.
well, we know it's a lie, but and said that he's trying to evolve and get better, and thus the new finisher called the Last Symphony. Which it wasn't anything that was spectacular or anything like that, but it's something that you can give instead of a power bomb. That's a signature move. That's a finisher that you can give a name to for one of your champions. Okay, cool. It made sense. There were some things like that. I liked the hot open with Sami Zayn and Sheamus. Two guys going after each other and continuing that idea a little bit. It was a lot of fun. You had a little bit of talking, and you had a 2-segment, a 3-segment match. And they beat each other up, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that kind of stuff. Sheamus to me has become another wrestler on another level for me, and I've really enjoyed watching him wrestle people because he has just that stronger style that but it still protects everybody in the ring and makes it look good. And so I enjoyed that aspect of it. And then, but the thing that fell apart for me is later when they have Sammy get protected by Solo to go off, and then he comes in with a shillelagh, beats up Jimmy and Jay, and says, "Hey, we're coming for your titles next week, me and Drew." And it's like, but you already have an established tag team with Butch and Ridge. But we're not gonna let them do it. Let's let me and Drew, who we were fighting, about 3 months ago, and we didn't like each other, but now we like each other, and we're gonna wrestle for the tag team championships if you don't lose to Riddle and whoever on Monday night. So we got y'all next week. It's so. I mean, again, it's like, okay, that's good. It's fine. Could have been better. And then of course, Damage Control was awful. That segment was just was awful. You knew it was going to be bad when Michael Cole goes and it's Damage Control. Literally with that. I mean,
with his long-standing feud with Bayley, it makes
Oh.
sense that he's not putting her over.
Yeah, and then of course the reintroduction of Tegan Knox was a fart in church.
Dude, not only that, you couldn't have even recognized her if you did know her before, which you didn't. But if you did, you still would. Like, what? Did she have no eyebrows and purple hair? Like, what the hell was?
It was like purple and yellowish hair. I think she was sporting Mardi Gras colors for her hair. It felt like
her pants were mostly non-existent.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man.
I was afraid she was going to blow a knee coming to the ring. I mean,
that's not okay. That's not how you bring somebody like her in, because she was only there for like 2 minutes, before. You'd have to tell like the story again. You'd have to do the intro videos again and stuff like that.
From NXT, you're bringing it back because Tegan Knox has beef with Dakota Kai because they betrayed her in NXT.
But I mean, they're even past that, dude. Tegan Knox was on SmackDown before.
Yeah, no.
It's like, but nobody remembers. It's just like, so I don't know, man. But that's just not. I don't know. That's just not how you do that. Obviously, she didn't get a call that day. I would have thought they've been planning this for a while. So if they had planned it, then they should have shot the vignettes or whatever. I know their logic would be like, well, that would just warn the Damage Control that she's coming or whatever. But it's like, who even what's less dumb, really?
Right. Yeah.
So
it was dumb. We had the Shayna Baszler in the match was not great. So I mean, that was and I think as we talked about, whereas Liv faces 3 people and was like, fine, 3 people, let's go. Which is like, okay, we're making Liv the tough guy of the women's roster now. Shayna Baszler's in the ring with Emma, going to break her arm. Shotzi comes out, and then she beats up Shotzi and is going to break her arm. And then
this got silly. This got silly real quick.
Yeah, and then Raquel Rodriguez with one arm in a sling comes out, and then all of a sudden Shayna Baszler's like, "Whoa, all right, never mind. I'm going to step out now.
Well, 5 hands is still tougher than my 2. So
Apparently. And her and Ron. I mean, and like I was saying, like with the women's division right now, it feels like they've been in a holding pattern for a very long time. Like they're trying to find the magic sauce, and nothing's working, and they just keep holding pattern. And then we have the vignette with Lacey Evans and training with the Marines, and
back to basics. Lacey Evans.
Back to basics at Lacey Evans, which is like, are they heel, whatever? And then a lot Medium 5 and a couple other guys talked about bringing, hey, just make Sandra Slaughter her trainer, her manager, do that. You have him in the, just go full cartoon and Marine and have Sergeant Slaughter come in and just G.I. Joe her. And, if you're going to do that route, go for it, I don't know. So it's
Sarge probably refused.
Yeah.
On the grounds of being rotten.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's making probably more money on the circuit, just, doing signings and stuff than having to be in a WWE ring. So, I don't know. It was an interesting, weird night. The matches, I felt like for the most part were pretty decent. You had the opening match, the Baszler Emma match was but then you had the Sheamus and Sami were good. I feel like I enjoyed Walter and Kofi. I felt like that was very good. And then we end the night with the and which is where we're at, kind of talking about Ricochet versus Santos Escobar. And let's be honest, this was WWE's version of a lucha match. These two guys faced each other in Lucha Underground before. So you got King Cuerno and Puma essentially facing each other, this was a lucha match through and through. This was WWE's version of that. And, I liked it because it's different. It's not something you see in WWE very often. It's not something that we get. So we're getting a different palette for our wrestling tongues for this night. And I was fine with it. Some people thought Sammy and them should have ended the show. And I said, well, I understand that, but I feel like it was a good start. And this was a good bookend for that because they had plenty of time to do this match. They did stuff that if you've watched Lucha Underground, you found some things, but then you saw some things that they haven't pulled out before. So then you had the moment where the Familia de Fantasma got kicked out. And so it was just those two going at it. And it didn't disappoint. To me, I felt like it was a good match, especially for the fact that, at the end of the day, this was all just to get Ricochet a rematch finally against Walter. But it was a fun way to go about it. To me, it was different and interesting. And the matches leading up to this were not great. I mean, Braun Strowman versus Ricochet last week was stupid. So at least we got this match to make up for it, which I would have done that. And Elizabeth says she'd rather have Santos win. I would have been good with either one. I think either one would have been a good option to win this. And of course, we were complaining about the World Cup and it had 3 Americans in it and a Hispanic, Mexican wrestler and a Canadian wrestler. So that's 6 North Americans and then 2 Asians, in India and Japan. So it's like, okay, well, it's not a World Cup, but it's that synergy to tie in with the World Cup that Fox has. So Smackdown has the World Cup because Fox has the World Cup. So we're going to do that. But I mean, how do you feel, Vet, that they handled this and that this was, a vehicle for Ricochet to get his rematch? Or would you have rather Santos win this match to face Walter?
Well, number one, like you said, the tie-in with the World Cup going on gives them something to do. It's got to end the show because it is for something. Mm-hmm. Whereas Sami Zayn versus Sheamus is not. Yeah. It's just a match. So, and one thing SmackDown's been doing very well is making a main event feel like a main event on their show. Mm-hmm. Whereas Raw just feels like this is the last match, if you're still awake. Right. SmackDown's like, hey, we're having this match later. Or we're having this match next week at the end. It's a main event. It's for a championship. It's something. It's a match that AEW would have tried to stuff on their pay-per-view, but we're going to have it on TV, which is something I've been saying for a long time, that not every match needs to make the pay-per-view, but you can make your TV show more exciting if once in a while you give them what feels like a big fight marquee match.
Right.
And they've done that in the past with, like they've done it with Sheamus and Walter before, and they've done it, here. Should Santos have gone over? No, because that's in their mind. You've already got a heel faction with Imperium, so you don't really want to put another heel faction in there. It's going to be kind of weird, and you're not going to beat Walter. So, to have them face Santos is the people are going to be like, well, they Walter's the kind of character that is, no matter how much of a heel he is, he's going to get over if he keeps building equity with the people with how good he is at what he does. It takes some people longer to get there, but I think Sheamus is kind of approaching that thing, that sort of Randy Orton thing where they don't want to boo this guy anymore, and Walter's not there yet, but eventually he will be. He's going to be like the cool pick for a smart fan to be like, yeah, I like this guy, whereas, a lot of us with discerning eyes have seen this years ago, and are glad that he's now on his way to where he should have been, a while ago. Right. But yeah, I don't think it's the right move to put Santos over here. If anything, it sort of, it kind of highlights the importance of Legado del Fantasma, because that means that without them as a unit, he is vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And it also gives Ricochet a much needed win because, you've got to have a little bit more variety at the top. Roman Reigns is cleaning house. You need to have people that, even if he only goes as far as Intercontinental Championship for now, but one day they built this guy up to a match with Brock Lesnar once, Mm-hmm. So I think that we're going to have to start having Ricochet be positioned in that sort of that underdog main event level role. Where he's like a few notches. He's like a notch or two below like the Drew McIntyres of the world and those type of things that could compete with Roman. Right. But he needs to be there, so it's even more of like a feel good story if he gets a chance, or a Cinderella story if he gets a shot at the title or something like that. Because Roman's faced everybody, you know. I don't know if that answers any of your questions, but I was fine. I was fine with all of this, and I was fine with the match guys in their own way.
Yeah.
Are we back? We back?
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. I was playing around. I'm frozen. Looks like Vet's frozen, I guess. So, hi Vet. So yeah, no, I agree with Vet on that. I agree that yes.
I cut out for a second.
Oh, there you go.
Are we back? Are we in? My internet's fucking up.
I think it's getting weird.
All right. How about now?
Now you're fine.
It's fine now?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I think it's choking or something. It happens once in a while. The weather's not great out here too right now. But yeah, all I was saying, what was I saying? Sonic said, why would Ricochet be able to beat Walter now? Well, he won't.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He's going to lose again. Or he should. But that doesn't matter because people, that's why we have the matches, to find out, hey, did you improve or grow before? So like I wouldn't put him over Walter, but it's still a good match to have.
Yeah.
It's a match that you can highlight again, whether it's on a future SmackDown or if it's on a pay-per-view coming up or whatever you want to do. Sometimes you just got to get the match in the ring and entertain the people and go from there. So that's where I'm at with it. But if you have Santos, well, you're not putting Santos over Walter. Right. And you're going to, having him beat there. I could see there's a cool dynamic. You have Imperium versus, Legato. But again, then you're asking the fans to choose their lesser of two evils,
Right.
Yeah. So it's just a weird position.
And someone's going to have to wrestle as a babyface when they're both heels. And it's, we're not, like you said, we're not there yet. But I think Sonic saying, did he grow? Well, I mean, he went through a whole tournament to earn this spot, to be the number one contender, to face, Walter. So
he beat Braun Strowman.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course, and Mustafa Ali and all that stuff. But I think that's the argument, is that he worked his way to this point. Whether he can get over the hill is the next question. And remember, all the way back months ago when Walter won this title, he didn't give Ricochet his rematch because he wasn't worthy. He said, and so no American is worthy to hold this Intercontinental title. So I'm only going to wrestle people who aren't American.
Now he's got a little trophy.
Yeah.
It shows that he's worthy.
Yeah, right. And so that's the idea, is he went through the world to win this trophy, to face Walter, to prove that he's worthy to get this title shot. Because remember, Ricochet had the title last and was never given a rematch. So that's where we're going with that. And so in a way, he's worked his way through the world to get this shot, and so, but I agree with you. Walter will win. Walter will go over. It might be a tougher fight than the last time that they did that. But Ricochet is not going to win. And then we can, see how they go forward from there. So, because I think Walter's a good champion. I think you have Imperium, you have the buffer with that. They're solid hands in the ring, and Walter's good. He makes, again, he's like Sheamus. Those two in the ring together were magic. There was a reason why they did it a couple of times, and we were all okay with it. And now that they've moved forward, they're proving, especially Sheamus, but they're proving that when you put somebody in the ring with them, it makes for a good match. Sheamus and Walter are both very good ring generals. They do what they need to make sure the match makes sense and make it, a good match. Even Walter last night with Kofi, it was, that was not a pairing I expected, but I enjoyed the match. They did a very good job of making things make sense and everything flowing and doing the things that they needed to do.
And even now that people are actually watching Walter, he's not letting them get away with some of the shit that he did in NXT UK and on the Indies.
Right.
Going like 20 some minutes with a Pete Dunne or whatever. Like, like he's not going to do that now because he realizes a bigger stage and, fun time's over. Right. You gotta do what's right. Mm-hmm. Speaking of large German gentlemen, I know he's Austrian, but same thing. Have you seen this kid, Oscar Leuba in New Japan? He's a young lion now.
I don't. I've seen the young lions. I don't know the new batch that I have seen yet.
Well, there's this giant German kid. Okay, and it's funny because he's a young lion, but he's bigger than everybody, and he's with the other Japanese guys. Okay. But yeah, so he's there now. You guys can mark this date down. I already said it before this, but this guy is going to have any kind of future in pro wrestling that he wants to. As long as nothing catastrophic happens, like he gets in a career-ending injury or, decides to quit wrestling or whatever, he'll be able to people will be handing him blank checks because he's already really fucking good. And I can see that just watching him be a young lion, which, as you know, they don't allow them to really do anything. Mm-mm. But I haven't seen a guy that was this green, not green, because he doesn't look green, but young and new and limited, that's this big, that can move the way he moves. And I'm not just talking about like what people usually say, like, oh, this guy's tall, but he's fast or something like that. No. I mean, just like the mechanics of what he does, like how he correctly does everything to such a small degree. But I just wanted to give everybody put that seed out there so that when it eventually sprouts into a tree a few years down the line, you'll be like, oh yeah, Vet said something about some tall German kid a long time ago. So
yeah, as a matter of fact, I've got to watch Tag League tonight, and then I've got to watch tomorrow because the third and the fourth, because I'm filling in on the Super J Cast to cover those 2 nights in Strong. So that'll be fun. So I'll get.
Well, he'll be on. I believe he'll be on there if you see you. You can watch any Tag League thing. He's probably going to be in one of the opening matches, so you can see what I'm saying. But just watch this kid. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, and that's what I love about New Japan, especially with the young lions. You can watch them, and that's I think the thing. Like I remember Jacob and I when we were it was in Dallas when they had the G1 here in Dallas, and they had Yuya and Shooter were here in the ring before the show, and we were there early enough to go watch. And you could watch them in the ring as they're warming up, and you knew those 2 guys were solid, that there was something there, that they moved differently than other people who were at their level. They were, I mean, even amongst the young lions, because the young lions were working out, warming up, getting fresh after everybody else had been in there. And so, like, it was impressive to watch those 2 compared to everybody else in the ring, because you could tell they got it. You could tell that there was something special about them. And so, like, but they were walking back to the ramp. We started cheering for them, and they were like, "Hey, like, thanks," But I mean, it was impressive to watch those 2 be those young lions that young to catch that they were doing that thing at that time. So.
Well, this new kid Oscar blows both of them out of the water.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that.
I'm not that into, dude. I am not that into what Shooter is doing, and I'm not that into what Yuya is doing so far. Like. I don't know about this crop of young lions. The future looks dark for New Japan to me, but that's just me. Well, I mean, I'm usually right, but
yeah. I feel like they're still they're out of the young lion stage, but they haven't figured out what they are yet. So they're still kind of floundering and figuring out who are they and what they are and their personas in wrestling. Especially Shooter.
Well, they're supposed to come back with knowing who they are now, right? And Shooter's back, and he just looks very confusing. It looks like a much more how do I put this, a more flamboyant version of John Moxley.
Yeah.
But he's not really committing to either side. He's not committing to the tough side. He's not committing to the pretty boy side. I don't know what he is.
Yeah.
But his stuff in the ring is not that great either. So I don't know. I'm just not impressed.
Yeah,
too bad.
And I mean, and I think that they were the COVID generation, got stuck in places they were at, and and they're now moving to these other places, and they're moving to New Japan, moving to Impact, and starting to put other things in their belt. Whereas normally you would have done like I think Shooter was in England for a little bit at Rev Pro, but I mean he was there for almost a year and a half, 2 years, and it was he didn't go anywhere else because he couldn't, and so he was just wrestling that the whole time. Whereas normally guys are at a place for a year, 6 months, and you hear that they've moved to this place or that place, and they're doing different things before they come back. And so, and that's I guess the thing. And when he was in England, he was doing the pretty boy gimmick. He had the white jacket with the white and it had Shooter on the back, and and so like you said, I feel like he didn't. He doesn't know what to embrace, and so therefore, it's kind of like when Naito first came back, and he was the star kid, kind of thing, but it didn't fit him, it didn't make sense, and so it wasn't until he became Naito, and that's who he is now that makes a lot more sense of who he is, and he finally embraced it. So,
well, hopefully he'll find out. Who he is soon, and maybe we'll have another gimmick change. But we're gonna lose everybody if we keep talking about this stuff.
Too bad. We're having fun talking.
We'll
I don't give a
tie
fuck
it
that
back
much.
to SmackDown and WWE
Yeah.
for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think we covered everything on the show. So
Yeah, well, I
uh,
mean, we did for the most part, and it was a like I said, it was a decent show for what it was. For it could have been a lot worse. We had good wrestling matches. Let's put it that way. We had some solid matches on the night for these that made it tolerable in between everything else. So I guess one is they did tease that Karrion Cross is now going to be going after Rey Mysterio,
yeah,
and I did say poor Rey. Having Dominic beat him up. But did you hear Dominic's reason for beating up his dad at the house?
no,
He had his Christmas tree up before Thanksgiving.
oh,
Yeah, that came out apparently on a WWE press release that Dominic beat up his dad because he had his Christmas tree up before Thanksgiving. What are we
what
doing,
can
Matt?
you even, what can
What are
you
we?
even, what can you even say to that?
I said congratulations, thank you. That makes sense because I'm, Thanksgiving first person. But still, you're like, really? Okay, all right. We're using official WWE station head to say that Dominic beat up his dad because his Christmas tree was up before Thanksgiving.
Do you think Judgment Day all lives in one house, like to save on like rent and stuff?
And
Like,
clothes, they probably share clothes, because I'm sure that a shirt that Damian Priest wears, Rhea wears,
mhm.
So I mean, there's got to be some swapping going on there.
You don't have to sort the laundry; it's all blacks.
It's all blacks.
Just
Oh,
just
a
run
little bit of
a
purple,
cold cycle.
a little bit of
Yeah,
purple. Yeah, yeah.
should
So
be safe. Yeah.
yeah, right. I mean, because they all live together, right?
Yeah.
Because Rhea's mommy and Finn is daddy, and Priest is older brother, and Dominic is little brother. So yeah, that makes sense. Sounds good to me. Now my kid perked up because we talked about Rhea. So
Hey.
yeah, he was excited. He saw the video of her doing the pull ups in the cage and was like, "Yep,
Yeah.
yep." So
Step on me, mommy.
yeah. No, that's not me.
Oh, okay. All right.
Not me. I mean, my son. Okay, so
Yeah, it's
that's fine. It's
you
fine.
got to learn sometime.
You got yeah. You like what you like. That's fine. There ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm not into heavily tattooed dominatrix types, but everybody has their own thing. It's not me.
That's right.
So, but anyway, I guess we should wrap this up. Well,
Yeah, that's a good note.
yeah, that's a good note to end everything's on there. So Vet, thank you for popping on. So where can the chat that passes the people find you on the internet, and what shows are you on right now?
Well, I am on all these social media platforms at Opinion Haver. So you don't have to remember a bunch of different usernames. You got to brand yourself, and that's what I've done. So I take an Opinion Haver, and you can find me on any of those that you like to use, including Twitch, which I was already on while you started the show, but then I hopped off and was like, hey, wait a minute. And normally I don't, I try not to compete with Hameen Media Group time. But I thought since I'd have a free day, I'd get a little extra stuff in. But here I am, and so you can sometimes find me on a Smack Attack, especially if James is going to have scheduling issues going forward, just, keep that DM button, at the ready in case you need a tag partner anytime.
Yes, sir.
And you can also see me every Wednesday morning let me back up a second. The first time you're going to see me is Monday evening for the Impact Attack with Brandon, live on YouTube at 6:30 p.m. Pacific and 9:30 p.m. Eastern. So we don't worry about whatever Central Time is on because they're not real. We only count the coasts. And so you could see us there, and I am most of the people here are going to be there. I see them there. Liz, Lab Rat, Media sometimes if it fits his schedule. But anybody that's listening that doesn't, I say this: if you don't watch Impact, don't worry about not watching Impact Attack. I mean, we will watch it for you, and then we will entertain you. So you don't actually have to watch Impact yourself. That's where we come in. So don't miss the Impact Attack because we do have fun. And when it's just a bunch of whack bullshit and nothing really to talk about, then we have extra time. Then we do like we did last week and open up a Q&A at the end, and people can just come in the chat and say, just BS and ask whatever they want. Then you can find me on Wednesdays at 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern time for the Next Level Wrestling with the Big Ray Hernandez. And we've got a special treat for you guys this week, which is something I've been trying to book for a couple weeks, but because of holidays and other complications, weren't able to get it done. But I've been assured that this week it's going to get done, but we are going to have former WWE Tag Team Champion Mike Mondo joining us to show off his expertise in what he does with his virtual boot camp that he does for aspiring independent wrestlers. And he's going to break down the NXT stars, some of which he probably coached at the Performance Center before. And he's going to use his unique eye to break things down. And I'm going to finally get to talk shop with somebody else because, no offense to the gentlemen such as yourself and the Big Rays and stuff, but sometimes a wrestler just really wants to get granular on things, and there's just no point. But yeah, so Mikey's going to be on with us. He was my very first trainer, so a lot of the things that I have learned came directly from him. So it's going to be good to reconnect with him and hang out with him. He's going to be on this Wednesday, so please check out that very special episode. Cool. And that should be enough for me.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, good. Hey, by the way, did you finish God of War? I know you were playing it. Did you?
I've finished the main story, and now I'm just doing some cleanup, and I've got a couple of major post-game bosses to handle, and I'm going to do that probably tomorrow. So if you'd like to see me take a crack at those, then twitch.tv/opinionhaver. I'll try to get some of that done before football. And yeah, that's all I got going on.
What was your take on God of War?
It was a really good experience. It was very similar, continuing the story of the original, not the original, but the 2018 game. Overall, though, I think I enjoyed the presentation and the feel and the story and everything of the 2018 game. I just feel like it was a much better game. This is the sort of like the bigger expansion. Like, look how much game we've got now. Right. And at times it can be a little bit tiring. The story is good. The acting is incredible. What they do with the facial capture technology and stuff is incredible. Yeah. But it does, to be honest, it does amount to a lot of Kratos walking and talking to characters. So it's a big walking simulator. That may be a little bit of a turnoff for some people. But overall, it's an amazing technical achievement, and it's a really good, if you break it down to just the story, I think just the performances are just so amazing. We've come so far from like the little bleeps and bloops and pixels and stuff like that to now when you watch, Kratos like looking over his son while he sleeps and struggling to not break down into tears. Like, video games sure have come a long way. So
yeah, and I'm always on board for Chris Judge because he's, I loved him from Stargate SG-1.
I didn't know he was that good of an actor, to be honest, because I've seen Stargate, and I'm like, all right, So, but
you watch his progression because when he started, he was fresh out of college as a D1 athlete and playing football, and here he is being this character, and then by year 10. He's grown so much as an actor and as a character that there's that. And then now, even more so with this Kratos character, being able to portray that. And then, I watched the behind the scenes where it's like he has a son. So, like, the story affected him so much because
not only
a dad made sense to him. So,
yeah, not only that, but like, when other people are acting in movies and television and stuff, like, they're usually in stuff that matters dramatically, a lot of times they're there with the person and they're on a set, but it's like, pretty somewhat intimate. But these guys are doing these like very dramatic scenes, but they're wearing like the ping pong ball suit with the,
Yeah.
you know, so like you have to act like you really care, and you're just looking at this person across from you that just looks like they just went deep sea diving and got a bunch of stuff stuck to them.
Yeah.
And like, how can you maintain that level of immersion when everything around you is so ridiculous? So
Right.
they get even more props for their acting ability, you know, from
Yeah.
that
And stickers
standpoint.
on your face to capture those. I mean, like you got green zips all over your face, but the fact that they're able to do it and then in turn just how they graphically make it work to
Mhm.
portray that emotion that you hear in the voice, but then to even portray that on the animated character to match the emotion that's being said.
Yeah.
It's incredible to watch. So it's a beautiful game. I mean, I don't have a PS5, so I mean, we're Xbox, guys. So
Boo!
yeah,
Boo!
it's what the ex-wife got us back when we were married. So that's what we
Boo!
have it.
Even more reason
Yeah,
to
boo her.
cast it aside.
Yeah, boo her.
Bad memories.
Yeah,
Get
I
these
know.
unwanted heirlooms out of here.
Yeah, I can't afford anything else. I'm fine with what we got. But yeah, no, cool. So guys, if you want to go check out a really good channel on Twitch, the vet has a really good one. He plays some really good games. No, well, I mean, you play a lot of good, very interesting games that I find enjoyable. You did the Halloween bit where you did scary games, so that was a lot of fun. So
I just like hanging out. You know, whatever I'm playing may not be interesting, but if you come to visit me, it's up to you to make it. I will make it as interesting as you want it to be. So
and you do a good job of it.
just come and interact and hang out, and it's
Yeah.
fine. You can ask me all the questions or talk about all the things that you don't get to talk about here because we got to stay focused on the programs, right?
Right.
When we're not going off on New Japan tangents or whatever else.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's fine. But you can find me on the internet at jreezymin, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat on Facebook. John Enright. Like I said today, the hat and the hat and the shirt were for our fundraiser we had today. Cowboy Santa take pictures with Cowboy Santa today, and it was a fundraiser for us as well. And it's also Christmas on the Square for the city, and then we have our Christmas parade tonight. So it's a whole thing.
Cowboy Santa was probably tougher than Adam Page, right?
Definitely. I mean, he rode in on a horse, and knew how to ride a horse. So there's that. Yeah, and didn't have butterflies on his chaps. So just I thought Cowboy Santa looked tougher than Adam Page, but
All right.
what do I know? And he does real cowboy shit, not Adam Page. So yeah, so that's how you can find me on the internet. With the holidays coming, sometimes it can be super super stressful. So guys, don't forget your mental health. It's important. Make sure you're taking your time doing the things you need to. There's a lot still going on into the year. People, try to figure out plans for next year for the healthcare plans. Those are all due. All the work shit that you got to take care of before the end of the year. I get it. It's not like it's just a super easy time. Then you got to do all the shopping. How am I going to afford things? Take care of your mental health. Make sure you're doing that. If you don't know how, contact me, and we'll figure out a way to help you get that taken care of. Anyway, or like I said, if you want to and you want to focus on mental health, email me, john@freedomhousepc.org, and we can take care of that. Other than that, you can also message me on those other places, and we can talk that as well. Not a big deal. But we want to make sure you're taken care of and that you're getting the resources you need to have good mental health because it's important. I think this week, with the loss of Jason David Frank, I think we see that mental health is important, that we need to still continue to reach out. We need to work hard on making sure that we check in with our friends to make sure that everything is okay. And it's okay to not be okay, but to be able to talk about those things and be able to do the things that we need to. That's that no matter how great you think your life is, everybody's hurting. Everybody has pain they're dealing with, and not everybody has it all together. And that guy seemed like he had it all together, and here he is for that. And Medium 5 Good, I know we've been talking a lot about it, about you getting some mental help, and I'm glad you're doing that. So good job. Keep up the good work. It's gonna be a process. Just stay with it as best you can. So, it's important for everyone though to get that help that you need for whatever you're dealing with. So make sure you're doing that. And so, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our Smack Attack for this week. I don't have fun, fancy intros like Jane does, where he does all those kind of things. Oh, there was a tremble in the rumble this week, or whatever he says. He comes up with fun stuff. That's not my job. My job is to stand here, look pretty, and say stupid shit. So that's what I do, and that's what I get paid the big bucks for. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a great time this week. Look forward to talking to you guys again next week. Thank you, chat, everyone in there. Media M5, Elizabeth, Sonic, Scott, Frank was in here for a little while. Lab Rat, and then of course our number one Lab Rat made our first comment of the day. So thank you all guys for being in here. You guys make this show worth doing because of all that. So thank you. We'll see you guys probably same time next week. And if you guys don't get to hear from me again, y'all have a great week, and we hope to talk to you again soon. And a peace.
Cheerio.